Hi, welcome back to the strategy journey. Today we are going to focus on the blue ocean strategy principles. Having gone through many concepts related to the blue ocean strategy, today we are entering the next phase of the blue ocean strategy journey, that is about planning and implementation of a blue ocean strategy. In fact, this is a much more challenging task than a red ocean strategy because it involves with large amount of change management dynamics. Therefore, in order to facilitate you with this process, we are introducing 4 guiding principles for the formulation process and 4 other guiding principles for the execution process. Today, we will start with the first formulation principle. Red ocean markets have given us enough of experiences about the red ocean strategies. We know our market space, we know the industry boundaries, we know the competitive factors in the market, and in fact these have framed our mindset into the shape of the current industry. But if you have to create a business strategy to be a blue ocean strategy, you have to shake these industry boundaries, you have to pull these industry boundaries. So the first formulation principle of creating a blue ocean strategy is reconstructing your market boundaries. The reconstruction of the market boundaries will give you a broader horizons of expanding your business industry so that you can create a blue ocean strategy. Over the years, when we operate in the red ocean markets, we'll build certain misconceptions. We will go through these misconceptions one by one, where we will understand, and once you can clear these misconceptions, you will open a path to reconstruct your market boundaries, whereby you create your own blue ocean strategy. Misconcept number 1. When you are operating in your industry for a long time, you go by industry leaders, you go by industry specialists, you go by industry magazines, you go by industry associations, and ultimately everybody defines the industry in the same way, and sometimes even you set the vision to be the best in the industry. This limits your focus, so we invite you to look across alternative industries when you set your business strategy next time. The misconception number 2. When we go through the market, we generally accept the different strategic groups in the market. So there are generally accepted strategic groups in any industry. So when you take the mass market, you segment the market by looking at the differences among customers. And then you will select 1 or 2 segments to target market and then sell your products or services. So ultimately you have narrowed down your products. You forget about other segments. You don't focus on other segments. And whole industry sometimes is focusing on these segments. So we invite you to look across strategic groups within industries. The third misconception that we build over the years is the buyer group. We know there are 3 different buyer groups for any industry: the consumer, the purchaser, the influencer. From industry to industry, traditionally, the marketing teams are targeting a particular buyer group. For example, pharmaceutical industry will always target the influencer, the doctor who writes the prescription. The ladies fashion industry will always target the lady herself. She is the consumer. She will take the decision for her. And corporate furniture industry, they will always target the purchase department, not the user, not the influencer. Like this, industry by industry, traditionally these buyer groups are defined. So we invite you to look across chain of buyers when you set your business strategy next time. The fourth misconception that we develop is we define the scope of the products and services in the industry similarly. As what industry has been seen over the years, you also tend to look at the industry in the same way. And it is very easy to understand when you look at the complementary products and services being offered in the industry. To understand this better, just think what happens before, during and after the purchase is made, after the sale is made. So there are so many complementary product and service offerings that you can give. So what the industry has been giving traditionally, you also tend to give. So we invite you to look across complementary products and service offerings that you can offer when you are setting your next business strategy. The misconception number 5 is focusing on the same orientation of the industry. That means you are accepting either functional or emotional orientation of the industry as it is. A cement manufacturing industry can never be emotional, and baby products industry can never be functional. That is how we have been asked to think. That's how we have been made to think. So we invite you to look across this functional or emotional orientation of the industry. A functional industry traditionally can be targeted using an emotional appeal. An emotional industry traditionally can be targeted using a functional appeal. So just look across this functional or emotional orientation of the industry when you set your next business strategy. The misconception number 6, the last one but not the least, but it could be the most difficult to predict, where we focus on the same point in time when you set our strategy. Okay, when you do your environmental analysis, you understand the current trends and you don't much understand the future trends based on the current trends. So if you focus only the current time in action, so you will miss certain future trends. So for this, you need to understand certain environmental changes which are happening, certain current changes outside which are happening, whether they are decisive to your industry, whether they are irreversible, whether they have a clear trajectory into the future. And also, while you understand that, you need to understand the generations. Today, the whole world is being controlled by the generation boomers and the X generators. And it can be your customer generation Y or your employee generation Z. So you need to carefully manage these people as customers or employees when you think across the time into the future when you set your next business strategy. So we invite you to look across time, understanding the generations, understanding the current trends of the market, which has a future clear trajectory into the business world. So with that, I think we have already addressed 6 misconceptions that we develop over the years when we work, when we operate in these red ocean markets. And once cleared, once spaced out, you can open up huge opportunities to reconstruct market boundaries, which will be the first formulation principle where you create your own blue ocean strategy into the future. That's all for the day. We hope to see you again with the second formulation principle in our next session. Thank you very much. All the best.